for evidence. For the time they tried to take his job from him. Okay, welcome to Top Tech Podcast.
We're going to get through nothing tonight.
Do you want to count us down?
Keep it going. All right. Hey, guys.
That's the stuff. One shot at a time.
You're right, Roy. Just knock it on. Let her rip.
You're playing golf today.
No, I'm not, Grandpa. I'm playing tennis.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
Just go home. That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Welcome to the Out the Bunker podcast with DT and Jase.
Hey guys, welcome to the Out the Bunker podcast. I'm DT. This is my man Jase, and this you will find out in one moment who the heck this is. But first of all, look, just a few thank yous. I want to thank you to Catherine Norris and Jordan Dool. They were our previous guests from last week.
Big shout out to the WA golfers.
Absolutely phenomenal podcast. Please go check it out if you can. But be sure to also keep an eye on Jordan Dool, who's currently competing over in Queensland.
I think
representing WA. I don't know if they finished
just finished up, and I think they lost to Queensland,
unfortunately.
Yes.
But Queensland. However, from what I could tell, he won 4 and lost 1. So he absolutely dominated his own thing.
And I could be wrong. I'm just going on what I think I remember from Instagram.
Yeah. But look, Jase, did you happen to check out, before we start talking about him, did you happen to check out Live Golf when it was in Adelaide?
I didn't get to check out too much of it, but I did watch the highlights as usual.
What'd you think?
I actually got offered a ticket to go over there from one of my mates, bunch of very, very wealthy guys. One of the dudes had to bail, and he's like, dude, last minute, can you catch a flight this afternoon? I was like, I actually can't because I'm not even in Perth at the moment. I was away for work.
But my friend DT can.
And literally within 15 minutes, he was like, it's all cool. We've got like another 15 dudes who are literally nipping everything. I was like, oh, okay. So I was just in the list.
Yeah, you would.
I was just next in the list.
Yeah, you would.
But it would have been dope to get there, man. It looked awesome.
So look, it's funny because like Brendan Steele, he's an American guy who ended up winning. He won $4 million for just winning.
That's insane.
However, it was so cool to see actually a group of Aussies win the team event because Live Golf seems
that was
to split
Cam
themselves.
Smith's crew, yeah?
Cam Smith, so Ripper GC, and they split $3 million between the 4 of them, like the poor buggers.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how they'll make it to the tournament.
But that was a bad night to be an 8-ball in Adelaide.
But look, once again, the watering hole was the main event.
Yep.
And they actually had 93,000 people come through the gates, which is just phenomenal for an Australian golf crew. We don't have anything here anymore.
I did see...
we don't have professional tournaments anymore.
I did see a bunch of people, and I think including Min Woo Lee was really trying to back getting a second tournament for Live or even the PGA in Australia because we just don't get anything.
So before we introduce this guy, do you actually know, and you are not allowed to answer because you're a bit of a genius, but do you know what Live Golf stands for? Paulie, do you know what Live Golf stands for? Does anyone actually know what Live Golf stands for?
I'm going to take a guess.
Yep.
And I'm going to it stands for Ladies in Vagine.
You would be exceptionally close. It is actually the Roman numerals for 54.
Pretty same thing.
So they have 54 holes and 54 players.
So same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. I never, ever knew that until
I genuinely thought it was for like live without the E.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were spinning some cool stuff. But anyway, Jase, I'll let you introduce.
Before I get into that, do you know what PGA stands for?
Parental guidance.
Yeah.
Assistance. Bang on. Well done. All right, introducing, with that being said, perfect segue to introduce our guest for the evening for episode 11. A comedian extraordinaire who has spent over a decade on the club and festival circuit. He has toured Southeast Asia, South Africa, Romania, Prague, Switzerland, Estonia, Finland, and a full 12 months on the tough UK comedy circuit, which he dominated. He's produced and co-hosted Today FM's late night comedy show, The Wagon, with fellow comedian Jim Rochford. They also took to 9 Network's late night gem Ralph TV as field reporters, bringing in the comedy and manly topics well, many topics they were given.
I gotta lose.
Recently
that from
been
bio.
working
that
the
Ralph
cruise
TV
ship.
thing in the woke culture
I'm
climate.
not done introducing you. You shut your mouth.
This is the
He's
oldest.
recently been working in the cruise ship circuit, seeing much of the world and delivering comedy of the most insane and creepy people in the world, aka cruise ship folk. He has been described as pretty damn impressive, 4 stars by Time Out, intelligent, articulate, likable by the Herald Sun, impeccable comic timing, and enduring quality that only few comics possessed, the West Australian.
Idiots.
And the last one is Jacques is an exceptionally gifted young stand-up with roguish charisma and an obviously sharp intellect.
Roguish.
That comes from InPress, but it's also his mother. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, a very good friend of mine in the comedy world and also of DT on the golf course, our main man for the evening, Mr. JB Jacques Barrett.
Bonjour, bonsoir, an honour. What an
How are you,
absolute bang! I can't move the mic.
Twist it,
Ow.
twist it.
Ow! I cut myself.
How's
in
things, man?
That
Really?
could have been a lot shorter.
Really good. It could have been. I mean, I'm not sure what website you got that
I didn't get it off
2011
anything.
bio
that
from.
would be off. That DT pulled that
Hey,
one.
There's a
man.
list of countries that won't let me back in. It's been so long.
No, don't be like that, my friend. We'll take you back in South Africa.
I
It's
won't.
okay. You
That's the
look
only
like
place
one
they'll
of
let
them,
me
my
back in, bro. We should go back and do a tour.
That's messed up. That's the
lekker.
only place that'll let him back in.
Lekker,
I know.
Because
they think I'm one of them.
He
Yes.
owns me. I'm coming home.
Yeah, if you go
Coming-
with him,
Oh,
Going back to my roots.
I wouldn't mind doing the whole podcast as this accent, if that's all right with you.
Honestly, my
All
bro,
right.
I'm keen as
we can
mustard.
reach a new demographic.
Yeah,
Okay,
not
the
probably
white
not
South
one you want.
African demographic, the Afrikaners. Okay, welcome.
How's it?
How's it?
How's it? Good than you.
So
Off topic already.
Yeah, already. We knew it was
Who's
going
going
to
to?
happen.
I'd hate to be the person who has to edit this absolute pile of shit together. Then we'd be talking over each other. Oh my God, there's that 14-minute bio about me. I can't believe you. Where you got that from? Did you go on my Twitter?
Honestly, I called your cousins back home in SA, and this is what they
Man,
said
you
to
say
me, okay?
perfectly.
Thank
We
you,
are
my
never
Absolute
getting
jabber.
into any of
because
this stuff.
No, because I've seen what's on the run sheet. I don't want to get to any of that.
What you're in tune for is another 54 minutes of this back and forth.
Yeah.
And then if you want to try it, Daniel, we'll give you a pass, okay? Give it a go.
Can you say that again?
We'll give you a pass. Not a pass you want. We'll give you a pass for the South African accent.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, let's get this podcast back on track. I'm Jacques Barrett from Top Deck Golf.
Oh, JB, you're a piece of work,
I'm
man.
a piece of shh.
So before we get too far off topic, we'll start with an opening question. Man, so you have travelled the globe doing comedy. Obviously, you got a big resume from that we've just rattled off. What has it been like living on the cruise ship as of late, though? Because you've been doing that for a minute too.
Oh, long minute. It's a decade now. 2014 was the first ever. There was one a little bit earlier than that, but it didn't go so great. So it didn't get really many emails back from that. I don't want. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to talk about it. It's for the courts to decide. As to,
Still pending.
I've got an
Did you sink the
NDA.
ship or something, or what?
Still pending.
No, I didn't.
Have you heard of the Titanic? Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to forget. But I started doing comedy on cruises in officially 2014. So that's a decade out there, bar a couple of quiet years with the COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Good old COVID, eh?
we don't really live on there, by the way. The longest I've ever been on a ship was 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks is the longest contract compared to the people on the actual ship who work there who can be 6, 7, 8 or 9 month long contracts.
So when you say you're only on there for 2 weeks,
That's dumb.
right? You go from where? Like, where's your first port? Sydney or Melbourne?
Let's say I board. Here's a great one. I'll board in Noumea.
Yep.
They'll fly me out to Noumea, and I'll be on that ship to all the way back to Sydney. And then new passengers get off. We clean. We hose down the ship, and then we have a
Don't
whole
say
bunch
we.
of new.
You don't hose down nothing.
I don't. Well, let me. Not in this time slot. Can I talk about that kind of hosing? But then a whole
We
new.
hose the hose. Yeah.
Edit that out. But
Nah,
then we can't. This is a children's podcast.
No,
We're
it's
trying to
not.
get kids.
No, it's
what?
not.
What am I doing here then?
He is not affiliated with
Putting
me.
this to ABC Kids.
My ankle bracelet's going off. But anyway, and then a whole bunch of new passengers will come on. A whole new pack of livestock will Noah them onto the ship, and then that will go out to Fiji or whatever. So it's like you get in the middle of one cruise, you board as the entertainer. and then you get off in the middle of the next cruise, wherever that may be, and that can be anywhere up to 2 weeks is the longest.
Yeah. And
which
so
is a stint.
So similarly to, I know I've spoken to Emo a few times about it because he's just recently gotten into doing it as well, and I'd love to get into it at some point. I know Benny D does it as well. Shout out to Benny Da. So, so you basically get to live the life of a cruise ship passenger until you have your gig at night, and that's literally all the work, quote unquote, you have to do, isn't it? It's about what, half an hour, 45-minute shows.
Listen, there's a bit more to it than that. I mean, you're really playing it down like it's easy, like everyone can do it.
You've got your set pretty down packed.
You'd be surprised. It changes every time. But
even with different crowds.
Okay, so Carnival cruise ships are the ones I work on predominantly, but you have to do 5 30-minute shows to that same audience over the course of however many nights. Sometimes 6. And they say you can repeat some of them, but the audience doesn't come. They come back and they hear the same joke again. They get up and they just walk straight out that door.
Yeah. It's obvious that
it's so obvious. They're like, oh, darling, we've heard this one. Let's go back to the buffet.
Yeah.
Or the free pizza stand. You're competing with a lot of really timeless classics like a soft serve ice cream machine 24 hours a day free.
And just unlimited cocktails if they got the drink package.
Indeed. You get it.
That's amazing.
Talk to you about it because you get it. But then if you do the same, so you've got to end up having like 2.5 hours of material, and you can't phone it in either. Yeah. These audiences are in a proper food coma all the time. It's got to be bangers. It's got to be big right hooks. It's like a mini corporate gig every 30 minutes. Yep. Then you got to family friendly shows. Yeah, don't even get me started on them. You have, haven't you? So you do 2 30-minute. It's in this tea. 30-minute shows.
Ayahuasca. Get in on it, bro. Yeah.
And man, there's something about the innocence of a child laughing that just makes you just feel good about. But honestly, that's the one thing. But it's taken a long time to actually work out what makes kids laugh because they're not. The problem with my comedy is it's real cynical. There's you got to have life's got to life's got to have rolled you a couple of times before you really start to get what most adults
also have to be able to pay attention. Like your comedy, there can be a lot of stuff that if you're not really paying attention, it can go straight over the top of your head. And you'll be like, I don't understand.
But that's when I pull out all the accents, every single accent I've ever had in my life. Bells, whistles, kids, look at this, look at the birdie.
Yeah.
And then you get through that 30 minutes, and then you got to do another 30 minutes of family-friendly, like 2 30-minute family-friendly shows to the same audience. And honestly, they're the toughest ones, but they're easily the most rewarding.
Yeah.
Because people laugh. And you end up, if you can get jokes, like a Pixar movie has jokes that are stuff for the adults and stuff for the kids. And both demographics are laughing for different reasons. If you can do it like that, that's what's taken a long time to do.
Now, when you break it down like that, that is a lot harder than just having the set you do at a comedy club and then taking that on a cruise ship and go, I'm just going to kill it with this.
Yeah. Because you know the demographic you're getting when you go to a comedy club, right? Compared to like a cruise ship.
Well, no. You know what you're getting on a cruise ship as well most of the time.
Okay.
You and just have to be able to cater to it, I guess.
Yeah. And it fluctuates according to what time of the year. You've got like off peak. Off-peak is when it gets real cheap to get on a cruise ship, and boy, the rat's tails come out in force. You really see a dip. It's proper
and the quality of human being.
Yeah, the HMAS Tip Rat is departing Brisbane for a 3-night cruise.
That's a perfect segue because my actual question was, I'm sure. Because I always think of Bill Burr where he talks about population control and he talks about how the first thing he would do, he would start sinking cruise ships.
Yeah.
He's like, who the hell goes on a cruise ship? He was like, think of the clientele that go on a cruise ship. But you must have met some amazing people on there. Give me your most interesting character that you might have met on a cruise ship.
Oh gosh, you've really put me on the spot here.
You knew you were coming on, right?
You know, you get a lot of thanks for just building this podcast studio around me while I was having my tea. But we do have a lot of absolute moon units out there, but probably the biggest characters are, like, you'll love this, the Eastern European Bloc employees. They get out there, and there's in the crew bar. You get a couple like dudes from Serbia, Croatia.
Why you got to go there right away?
You asked. You asked.
Why you got to go to my people?
And this is the crazy thing. They have this thing called this term called ship gay.
Now he's tapping that in.
You'll get this ship gay. It's these dudes who come from incredibly homophobic hometowns, like sleepy little villages where it's like you cannot be gay,
Man,
and they and they come onto a cruise ship, these dudes, and they start just ripping through B deck. There are a lot of through the Filipino housekeeping staff who are out and proud. And they're rainbow flags all over the doors and everything like that. And these Serbian dudes just get liquored up on like $1.50 Grey Goose shots, and then they slide right down the I-95, which is anyway. And then they get their fill, and then they go back to their wives, girlfriends.
That's
back
wild,
in.
man.
It's crazy.
Nuts. The biggest closet ever is a cruise ship.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's
and
nuts.
Yeah. And there's
Oh, pun intended.
yeah.
I didn't see that one coming. Pun intended.
this is my family friendly show.
Yeah.
Is what you're doing.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So I bet you guys have seen a lot of semen. You're all night. 3 people just get up and leave. Honey, we've heard this one before.
Man.
All right, so we're kind of changing lanes a bit. Obviously, we were blessed and have been blessed to have you on course with us a couple of times with
Blessed.
golf.
Bro, don't bring God into this.
dude.
I mean, what I do out there is
talking
not
about
biblical or
God?
spiritual at all.
No, it wasn't today.
More commenting on the fact that you look like Buddha. What would be your earliest golf memory? Because Daniel and I have spoken about this on our podcast. What would it be for you?
Well, I got two parallel golf stories happening. One is my dad's incredibly good at golf. He plays off 5 now, but he was off like really close to 2
5
when I
now?
was 5 now.
How old is he now?
76.
Jesus.
He's piping it
That's
down there.
phenomenal for a,
'Cause he's
for a
still-
70-year-old to be off of 5, man.
Yeah.
He's got the power. He's 6'3", so he's got the levers.
what a
Yeah,
dick.
he's up
Natural
there, he's
technique, the hips, all the hips, you guys.
It's all in the hip.
I got my mum's hips. I'm a good putter. But Dad was always piped him down there. But he wanted to get me into golf pretty early. But he got me into golf. But unfortunately, also the disciplinary tool that he'd hit me with was a golf grip.
Oh,
So it's mixed messages coming from Dad.
With
Do you
a
want me to
go-
play
with
golf?
a
Or you want me to
golf shaft
never?
in it, or just the
Yeah,
empty
yeah,
grip?
No, empty grip, just the grip.
got some whip
no
to
shot.
it.
Yeah,
That's got some
whip.
whip.
Yeah.
And you get, you
Ouch.
move the hips and then
Yeah.
some
Hard
real
rubber.
power. And I've even got a joke about it. It's like Dad used to hit me with a golf grip, and I was like, obviously his handicap was me. And he came to a show and he was like, "Don't you tell people about that golf grip?" And I was like, "You should hit me with a microphone."
Yeah.
And people, half the crowd get it, and half the crowd, what?
Yeah. What's going on?
What? I had too much buffet for that. I don't understand what's happening. But that was and he only had to hit me 5 times with that. I remember all 5 times, and I was a pretty quiet kid after that. But also, it took me a while to play golf.
Yeah. No, Dad.
the
No, I want to tell jokes.
Yeah.
All right, Billy Elliot.
But when I lived in Port Douglas when Mum, Dad, and I moved there when I was 8. They were selling real estate at Sheraton Mirage, and there's a really good golf course all through that whole area. And Dad used to play all the time. And then he took me out there one day after he'd finished work. It was the afternoon, and he was on the phone. I remember this because he had a brick. He was like one of the first people on earth to have a mobile phone. It was so big, a huge Gordon Gecko sized,
Yes.
chunky white with the big whatever.
out
Like, what's his
Antenna.
name off Saved by the Bell? Zach, he used to have that big thing on Saved by the Bell. Do you remember Saved by the Bell?
I do remember
this.
Saved by
Yeah,
the
he
Bell.
had that
We are
big
old.
phone. Yeah,
We
that's
are
showing our
old,
age.
man. Yeah,
Anyway.
we're old, bro.
So he's on
We're getting
the
way
phone, making deals. Yeah, I'll see the contract over here. Blah blah blah. Really like proper real estate dude, phone voice. And we're on the course, and the green is about maybe 80 meters out. I'll say I was short. I was 8. I can't remember. Anyway, so I got a ball, and I've got a 7-iron in my hand. That we're just playing. He's just with me, just trying to like get me into golf, whatever. And he's on the phone, and I've got a ball in front of me, and I just line up and I smack it. I just pipe this one. It's in slow motion. It's going up, lands just next to the pin, and I'm like, but I don't want to yell because Dad's on the
Dad's
phone.
making a deal.
And Dad's made the deal. And I'm like, "Whoa," and Dad saw it and he goes, I'll call you back.
Nice.
Hangs up the phone, comes over to me and gives me this huge hug. And he's like, yes. And I was like, oh, core memory.
Hunter grip.
Yeah.
And then, the next night, I'm like telling people, I'm probably turning pro. And he's like, shut the fuck up.
Then
Bang.
you 3-putted, you bitch.
Okay, so your dad kind of got you into golf.
He did, but I played it when I was up until when I was 15 or I think I was 15. I got the bug real bad in grade 10. And then all my mates started skateboarding. And so I was like, they didn't want to play golf. Golf was nerdy.
Wasn't the cool sport.
No, man, Dad got me to Royal Queensland as a junior member because he was a member there. And it was nothing but old
white dudes.
Yeah,
dudes.
old white
And
dudes,
it's no fun. It wasn't cool. There's no live golf on the horizon.
Nah.
There's no dudes with full sleeves getting loose out there. It's just nothing but it's like old. And Port Douglas and everywhere Mum and Dad sold real estate was just old people. Full Florida set, white shoes, gated communities. I was sick to death of old people. And that's why I work on cruise ships now.
That's come full circle.
But it's crazy how far golf has come as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's
now they let the blacks play.
Yeah. Now we do. But like,
what a mistake that was.
Just to think back to then, my experience was the same. I know yours is probably a little bit different, but my experience was the same. Like every time you rocked up to a golf course, it was just old white dudes. Very rarely would you see a female playing. Now you see loads of females playing, and you just see everyone getting involved, like random people. Like you go to that driving range at Wembley, it is nuts how many people are just on there, and you look at them and you go, why are they here?
Yeah.
Like they can't swing, they can't do anything.
No.
But they just enjoy belting something.
Even for people who would never in their life be seen on a golf course, they'll go to a driving range.
Yeah, they go to a driving range for a date.
Which is weird.
They go on dates to driving ranges.
Yeah, I'd love if somebody took me to the driving range.
Have you seen the number of Instagram reels of like, dude took me to a driving range on our first date? And then you're like, what? How could he do that to her? And then you see his swings, like, bro, he piped that fucking thing. If that was my eight, I would take a girl to a range if I'm hitting a 4-iron 250.
Yeah, honestly, like
in sandals.
The dream would be if like the girl chose it. She's like, oh, you're going to be a really cool date. Let's go to the driving range. And then you see her first shot and you just annihilate her off this. Like, that's your drive? Really?
Boom! Hold the phone, babe. Just film this for me, would you?
You grabbed a bit of rubber.
With the grip.
But 100% when I was younger, it was just not cool enough. And then all my mates got into skateboarding. I started skateboarding. It was just younger and fun and I don't know. And then so I took a proper 25-year hiatus from golf. I didn't play golf. I might have gone to the driving range a couple of times with Dad. That was it. I didn't pick up, but didn't do anything. And then my ex-girlfriend, her dad took us all to Hamilton Island. We played Hamilton Island golf course, which is unbelievable, stunning. What are you're looking at me like that's a lot of money? It's a lot of money.
I need to start dating in your circles.
He picked up the tab. Okay.
Yeah, no, but is she single now?
She's single now, yeah. She's living in New York. Give it a shot.
Shit, that's too far.
There's not a lot of
I have the money to get there.
I was going to say, you got to get there.
I'll wait for her to come back to Australia.
Let me see if there's a match play in the Bronx or Brooklyn coming up. And then, so he took us there, and then I hadn't swung a club, and it took me about 3 or 4 holes to actually, I was slicing it. You know when you haven't hit and you just pinging them far right, get to a par 3, and I was just like, who gives a shit? I just sort of remember Dad saying, just loosen up. You don't need to, the club does the hitting, not you. The club does the hitting. Just let the natural swing. And I lined up 7-iron again. It's back, baby. It's back. And just piped one and just put it right on the green, about 4-5 foot putt. And I was like, oh, bitten by the bug.
Yeah. Did Dad give you a hug this time?
No, Dad did not.
Shame.
And
Chopper in.
Now you're down to almost below single digits again.
Yeah.
Like into single digits, like as a handicap.
Hey,
That's
10.8.
Yeah, but
That's bloody impressive, dude.
Dude, it's
Think about
super good golf,
if you think about the percentage of people that are under 18.
Yeah. There's not many.
Insane.
Like that's the scary part. And they use 10 as the handicap. Whenever they talk to professionals, they always go, what do you think a 10 handicap?
10 handicap would hit, yeah.
Right? Because they use 10 as that level of like, you're not fantastic, but you are not a schlub.
Yeah,
You
you're
know
a
what
good
I mean?
golfer.
Like, you're a good
Yeah.
golfer, and generally you'll go out there and you'll play decent golf. You know, like a couple bogeys here and there. I mean, we see professionals shooting plus 15, plus 16.
Yeah.
Granted, their conditions are a little bit different, but
Still relative.
It's still relative. You know what I mean? To how much time you put into the sport. So
And there's been there's been a lot of time put in the last 2.5 years. A lot of time and
Dude,
money.
since COVID
Which
came
brings
back,
me
yeah.
to my next question, you guys. How do we make golf a tax write-off? Is that what this
As a
podcast
comedian,
is?
you could be.
No, so before you got down there today, JB and I spoke about how do we do that, right? And the question I had, and Paul, you might be able to chime in here, right? Because you're an entrepreneur yourself. What is the minimum income you need to be getting for your business to be able to then write something off? And I don't know. Because if it's like $50, sweet, we're there. Let's write off
Oh, then
everything
I
we
could
do.
start doing that as a comedian anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I earn
But
$50
if
a year.
if it's you have to make 10 grand, 15, 20 grand with
It's
your
a little bit
business,
different, yeah.
then that's a little bit different.
Could
Then
be,
you gotta
or it
start
could be a
thinking about-
requisite number of invoices. I've tried to Google this, but it's like one of those. It feels like there's a loophole here that they're trying to hide in Google searches.
Probably.
That people could all of a sudden people are writing off all kinds of
There's
pastimes
gotta
and
be
hobbies.
loopholes, man.
Yeah.
There's got to
Hey.
be loopholes. Like Trump talks
have to
about
be
it.
able to do it.
Who is it? Dave Chappelle talks about how smart Trump is and
yeah.
why everyone fell in love with him is because he was like, yes, I do use tax breaks because the
Yeah.
system allows
Why
me to do
wouldn't
it.
you? Yeah.
He's like, I do it, so do your people.
Yeah.
That's why we do it. Like, he's not hiding anything. Like, that's kind of why there's got to be something there. We just don't know how to find it.
We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Well, I think
My
it
sister's
could be a
husband-
Put
session.
our head to
It could be a session with a tax accountant.
Yeah, my
Simply,
sister's husband owns an accounting firm, or accounting company. I'll have a chat with him.
we'll pay, and that'll be our first expense.
Yeah.
for the
and then,
company.
and
There
then
we go.
and that's the last expense we'll have.
Yeah.
Ever.
Ever. Ever. And then you get the you do your tax at the end of the year, and they're like, you owe $25,000.
You owe us $450,000,
That didn't work
Jason. Oh, so 7 cars wasn't a good idea to get. Well, I guess I'm not driving to 7 different courses
we're like
in
putting
different cars.
Paulie in Beamers and stuff like that. You've got a Hummer.
Seven G wagons with 7 different golf bags in them. It's just for
Look,
one day.
it's
of
a
the week.
necessity.
Yeah, I need 12 pairs of
Can
shoes.
you get onto that next one? Because I want to hear some of these. 'Cause-
Again.
Yeah.
So I'd still kind of in relation to the golf stuff, but and I believe you'll know what I'm talking about when you're prompted here. But what are some of the best jokes you've heard on a golf course?
Oh, this-
First one I'm saying is actually I'll give you all 3 and you can kind of explain it. So I've got ducks joke,
Yeah.
priest joke, and elephant joke.
Okay, your daughter's going to have to leave
That's
the room
okay.
for all of them.
She's fine.
All of them.
No, she's good. Don't
She
stress.
can repeat it at school tomorrow.
I want
It's
you to
fine.
know
Yeah.
none of them are
She's
about
left
her,
now.
okay? She's gone. She's gone. Man, as Michael Winslow over here with my door opening closing sound effects. Call Hollywood. So
Yeah, she's gone now.
I was thinking about coming up. This is my idea that could make golf a tax write-off for me. Is a small book around the size of a passport, but a bit thicker, called "The Best Jokes I've Ever Heard on a Golf Course." Something you can actually put in your golf bag. Just have it there so people can just shoot the shit and just tell you a
Whip
joke.
it out.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so first one.
Giggity.
This was dude told me this recently. It made me laugh. Okay, so 3 ducks walk into a bar. Bartender says to the first one, "Go, mate. What's your name?" He goes, "Huey." He goes, "Hey, how's your day been, Huey?" Huey goes, "I've just been in and out of puddles all day." And he goes, "Oh, good on you, mate. Let's get you a drink." Next duck comes up. "What's your name?" He goes, "Dewey." And he goes, "Oh, how about you? What have you been doing today, Dewey?" And he goes, "I've just been in and out of puddles all day." "Oh yeah, just like Huey." This duck comes up and he goes, "So you must be Louie." He goes, "Oh no, I'm Puddles."
Oh, Jesus.
So good.
Man.
And I need a fucking drink. So good. It's clean, right?
I hate that I found that so funny.
Yeah. Don't fight it. Don't fight it.
I'm Puddles.
Did you actually wrote that yourself?
No. A guy told me that. This is a joke. This is jokes
I'd
I've
love
heard
to
on
know
the.
how someone comes up. That's a
It's
fantastic
so cute.
joke.
It's so cute and adorable.
You say that
fluffy.
in any context.
Yeah. Next one, not so much.
Right.
So this priest is shearing this goat, right? And then the goat turns around and says, I think you're grooming the wrong kid.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I didn't swear. What's going on?
Oh,
You guys? Okay.
You guys? Anybody? You guys?
You guys? Can I get a high five on that one? You guys? Home viewers?
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
I just thought that one would go a bit better than
That's
shit.
so
Okay,
good.
next joke. Okay, next joke.
Are these progressively getting worse?
No, this was actually I tapered this one off on purpose.
Okay,
I
no,
knew
don't
we'd
taper
peak a little. We'd go a little high on the priest one, so I thought we'd just taper it off with this next
go
one.
ahead.
All right, so this guy. I'm going to do it in a South African
Okay,
accent,
yeah,
right?
let's
Because
do
it's
it.
about it happened
the
to your
elephant.
guy in South Africa, right? He's got a small cock. No one, nothing we can relate to right now, but he's got a small cock, right? And you feel bad for him. So, and I'm not sure if you know much about the continent of Africa, but the competition is pretty stiff. So he says to his doctor, I need a couple of extra inches to work with. The guy says, listen, I know a guy. He goes out into the wild and they find baby elephants that have died. And that's so sad, obviously. But they take a small piece of the baby elephant's trunk and they can add that to your cock and give you a couple of extra inches to work with. And the guy says, give me his number right now. Not just now. No. So he gets the number and he calls the guy. He says, like, I need this done today. And he gets the I need it today. So he goes down for the surgery and he wakes up the next morning and it's brand new. He's got this weapon. It's healing, takes a bit of time. Now, a week later, it's ready to go. He's got this brand new weapon. And he's got new cock confidence. And he asked this beautiful woman out on a date. And she's like, oh, okay. So she's sitting opposite him at the table. In the middle of the date, his cock comes up over the table, picks up a bread roll, and then brings it back down again.
Why did I just look at that? Well, I was like, what?
It's an incredible impression
It's
of the trunk.
physical. It's physical comedy.
He's picked it up. It takes the bread roll and then brings it back down again. And she goes, that was amazing. Do that again. And he goes, I would, but I don't think I could fit another bread roll inside my ass. And I think you'll agree it's good to laugh again.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God, man.
I've been sweating that whole joke just because of the accent.
I know. But you do the same one.
I didn't care about the punchline.
Yeah, but he's South African.
I did not care about the punchline. That was perfect.
Oh, man.
If you ever do that joke on stage,
I do
you
it.
have to do it with the full South African accent.
Okay, I'll take
You can't-
that in.
Yeah, South
I
African
honestly
accent is
don't
good,
think
man.
that hits as hard if you do it with an English accent.
Yeah, it'd be-
like just a normal.
It wouldn't make any sense. Like, why are you in Africa?
So he grabs this bread roll and like he puts it back down there.
Oh man,
Doesn't work.
that was brilliant.
Okay, so look, staying on that topic, what are some rules of golf that just need to go?
Let's find this new gear.
So look,
Fitting bread
man.
rolls and asses.
Speaking of brother,
Look, we've all played golf way too much, right? But there are some rules in golf that I know we all sit there and discuss. The world discusses that are just ridiculous and that need to go. Give me one. That just, you sit there and you go, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why?
Okay, here's one that I've never seen upheld, but I think it still stands to this day. If you kill an insect on a golf course, it's a two-stroke penalty.
It's a penalty.
Two-stroke penalty. Yeah, if
Two-stroke
it's in
penalty.
your line and you don't move it.
You didn't. No one had ever been to Australia when they invented this rule. The insects that are out there, the bugs. I mean, I had a fire ant bite me on the ankle. I've still got to look at this. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
Look at this. That redness there. Can you see
Jeez.
that? Can you see that? It's a fire ant. I was about to chip and it was
What
off the
course is
green.
that at?
Malins.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and it
Were
was
you in the
about, and it bit me. No, there's no bunkers in Malins. You know this. Trick question.
Trick question.
How's Billy Hoggs doing on that? Not so good since he died last year. Anyway, so this thing bit me, and this thing is absolutely, I kicked it into China. It has gone through the ground. But if someone was watching that, I don't think it's on the green. Is it only on the green?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only on the green, but still, like, how hard are you hitting the ball to kill?
No, well,
It's
it
like
wasn't-
on the green. How hard are you hitting to
Some
kill?
of these
it
insects
happened a
want to
couple-
take their own life. Some of them want to end it all. They're
Yeah.
like, this is how to.
It happened a couple of years ago, and it didn't actually kill the ant or the bug or whatever, but there was a dude playing in the PGA. He putted it, and it rolled over the bug. Missed the hole because it was big enough that it veered the ball off.
ball off.
It didn't kill the bug, but he got a 2-stroke penalty, and he obviously he didn't get to
Because he
re-putt
didn't
that
move
putt.
the bug prior.
No, well, he couldn't because the bug flew down in his like after he hit it. And you're like,
on.
how do you
Nah, that's
enforce that? And
devastating.
he two-stroke penalty, and he lost the tournament. I think the putt was for the tournament.
See, that's
Who
ridiculous.
says he can't train a bug?
Yeah.
Okay, so from an amateur's perspective, I think one that always drives me nuts is professionals, obviously, when they're in the bunker, everything's just pristine.
Yeah.
Right? As soon as someone hits it.
Bring it. Preach,
right?
Queen.
Yep.
Preach.
When you play socially or when you play amateur golf, 90% of the time people don't clean the bunkers afterwards. They don't rake it. You fly your ball in. You're already devastated that it's gone in the bunker, and then you land in someone's footprint.
Yeah.
And there's
Or
some
you have to play it as it
courses
lies.
we're playing. There's some fucking big units out
Yes.
there. Real impact craters in those greens.
Big elephants.
Big elephants
know-
with the huge hoof. You
You know,
know.
it's funny, and I don't know if you'll remember this, but it was literally on the par 5 that we played, and you hit twice out of the bunker, and you go, "Dad, I'm not cleaning it. These bunkers are shit."
Yeah.
The amount of people who have that reaction because they're like, "This bunker's
Yeah.
ass,
Yeah.
man." Like,
It's
I'm not hitting out of this. It took me
how does
4
it-
shots out of one, and I just felt like digging a hole.
Yeah.
Like actually leaving it with a hole dug out. of it.
Yeah, but who loses there? It's
Yeah.
like the bunker did you dirty.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
who loses? The next guy
Yeah.
who hits it in there. It's full past the
Like
buck.
9 shots out of it.
So what's yours? Do you have one that you just kind of that
For
one? That's
me-
my one.
For me, it's like the whole like if you go on into the rough or whatever, and a lot of the time, especially with the courses that we play with the gum trees and stuff, they can drop quite big branches. You're not allowed to move anything that's attached to a tree. But if you move big branches and stuff away and it moves your ball,
Yeah.
if you really
Yes.
want to be a stickler, that's a penalty.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, dude, I'm not playing for any money. Let me pick this
Yeah.
branch up. Or in other cases, like I'll admit to it, and I'm pretty sure I've seen you do it as well. I will literally tear a branch off a tree if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's illegal.
Like I will move that
Tree
out
had
of
it
the way.
covered.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'll turn into a lumberjack and remove whatever vegetation I need to
Yeah, man.
to give me a line.
Yeah.
Because like or the whole like unplayable and then it's what 2 strokes. Let me just move it, bro, and give me 1 stroke.
Yeah.
I got a
don't
little
need to
gum
get-
nut. It's a gum nut right there.
Yeah.
It's right underneath my ball.
Like,
Let
and
me
it
move
moved when you touched it. You know what? I'll break your face in, and then I'll.
That's
screw
one
that
thing.
ball.
Above, beyond rules, it's a stickler for the rules playing in a social comp. In like it's just a Thursday comp.
Yeah,
and they're
man.
like, club touch the sand in the
There's some
bunker
great
at setup.
videos on
You're like,
YouTube too, man, of that.
you married the wrong woman. And that's not my fault.
Yeah, don't project your bad choices
Stop
on me,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
It's good that we're talking about this because when we think of this stuff, right, we talk about how pros don't have to deal with this. So, look, let's firstly, before we get into it, identify, look, professionals are so much better than we are.
Yeah.
Like,
Different universes.
lots to me, just a little bit to you.
No, don't be like that.
No, I'm joking. But
And I'm not
right?
even in the realm.
But what are some
Yeah,
of
you
the
are.
benefits that these golfers have? Like, they're already so freaking amazingly good.
Yeah.
But they have some benefits on a golf course that we don't get anyway.
You got that.
Right?
A million
That
different
make-
camera angles.
Yeah. They've also got
They
like
got
that.
drones now as well.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't think
Drone
that's-
So they can
flyovers.
see
that's
the-
not what I'm talking
But they
about.
know the grains. They know the lean of the grain on each green to the point like that
Yeah,
book.
they get told that stuff. Yeah, they
that
like,
book they've got in their back pocket that they could just the Matt Fitzpatrick little
Oh, yeah,
glossary.
he writes everything
Busts it. He busts it out, and he's like, they're learning. They're factoring in that kind of so many pieces and variables in my brain. Me trying to work it out. It's got to be a feel thing for me. It's got to be a vibe. But if you have the advantage of knowing, I know it's going to sway a little bit because the grain's pushing right. It's going to factor in. Sorry.
No. So when we went to Dubai, right, we played on a course that we had. We watched a pro tournament on a course that we had played. Now, when we played it, sand everywhere.
Oh,
Right.
because people are
On the roughs, right?
Okay.
Like in the rough, they had like wood chips for probably about
Yeah.
3 meters, and then it was sand. We went to go watch the pros. It was all wood
All
chips.
wood chips. So it's
So their
actually easier
ball-
to hit off.
It's easier to hit off wood
Incredibly.
chips because the ball doesn't sink into the sand or anything,
Yeah.
and there's no second bunker, so to speak.
Yeah, and you
Right?
get a lot more roll through as well. So, like, if you're trying to cut a
Yeah.
corner and you're
Yeah.
going to roll into sand, it'll stop.
And then on top of
over
that,
wood chips, the
they've got
trampling of the
people-
rough.
Yeah, then they've
is
got
insane.
people. Yeah, the trampling of the rough on the
Just for
links
traffic,
courses,
foot traffic, yeah.
the links courses, they actually don't mind some of the holes going into the rough because they know that the footprint. They actually talk about the
Yeah.
footprints have just battered everything down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then
And
on
so
top
then you're
of
not
that,
really
when you-
hitting off thick grass. You're actually hitting off quite a flat line.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you also get when they go out of bounds, it generally hits someone. and the ball doesn't go out as far as it should.
That's so true. It hits a thing, or there's an enormous marquee.
Yes.
That they go, oh, I put the
Yeah.
backspin on that because I knew it was bouncing it off the
Yes.
Live Golf marquee. I bounced it. It went into the euphonium of the Live Golf band, and then came out, and then
Happy
straight
Gilmore right into the hole.
right in the hole.
I'd love to see them play a hole where no one's allowed to look for their ball, right? And all the crowd is behind them on the tee, and then as they go down the hole, the crowd walks with them.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to think the golfers playing after them get the advantage of people walking on the rough, so you could only do it for one group really, or they'd follow the very.
But they're on
last
the rough
people.
anyway. They're all around different holes anyway.
I'd like to
standing
see
in the
them
rough.
play Secret Harbour. See how much they struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
not being able to.
Also,
look at
I'd
the
love
ball.
to see the spectators just getting stung by
Bit by
duggites
snakes.
just straight down the eye. Me over here. I got an ant bite on my ankle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my granddad is dead from a snake bite.
Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those things. They get massive advantages. I saw a video on TikTok the other day. Dude hit it, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 meters out on the grass, fell just short of the cart path. Teenage dude looked like he was maybe 18, 19
saw
years
that.
old. Picked it up. And they were like, obviously someone would have been like, what the hell are you doing? And he threw it further back towards
Paulie's
the fairway.
face, man,
Yeah.
is
He didn't
priceless.
just
Did you
drop
see
it.
this,
Yeah. He
Paulie?
didn't just
Unbelievable.
drop it where he was. He tossed it back towards the fairway, and because
That's out of his
because
control.
the golfer had nothing to do with
Yeah,
that,
it bounced
he just
off
got
his
to
hand.
play that ball where
See,
it
that's
lied.
wild.
Yeah,
We don't
like
get that.
when they land in.
Who says you can't train a teenager?
Yeah, but I was just like, and I've
Imagine
also
if that
seen it.
came out.
There was a tournament in Europe.
Yeah.
Where a lady was
Like-
walking along the course and she picked it up and put it in a handbag, walked
I saw
another
that.
20 meters. People were like, what the F are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I think it might have even
It
been
was
her
a-
husband.
it
He
was
like,
a
"What
South-
are you
it was a
doing?"
South African tournament,
And
I
she just
think.
picked it up and she was acting like, what? Am I
That's
not allowed to
crazy.
pick up the golf ball? And then
Yeah.
she just dropped it
Yeah.
in a better position further up the golf course for the player. And they just got to hit it.
Paulie, I'll send you a bit of a snippet you can show of that lady when we were at the Dubai Classic.
Oh, the chick just sitting down?
The chick sitting down, landed in a lap, and Rory McIlroy, like I'm this close to Rory McIlroy, walks up to her and she's just sitting there with the ball because everyone's like, don't move, don't move. And she's sitting there, legs straight out, ball in between her lap. And then she goes, okay. And like, she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And the guy came around and he was like, okay, you can stand up now. And she's still looking at him like,
What do I
like,
do?
what do I do? Right. So she stands up and lets the ball just kind of drop. Right. And then she
And
stands
she stayed
there.
standing. Yeah.
She stood
She's
there.
freaking out.
Like she has
This
no
is a
idea
one
how
shot
play
to
golf.
sleep with Rory McIlroy.
Yes.
Let
Yeah.
her have it.
Like you know that she was there purely just to
Yeah.
find, money making
visa.
machine.
Have you seen the clips of?
or a visa?
Have you seen the clips of women thirsting for Rory like throughout his
No,
career?
I haven't seen
Oh
that.
man, it's a highlight reel of girls
Have
just
you
right
seen it?
behind the tee, and they're just like, oh, they're just frothing. They're like,
You know
it's
what,
like
dude?
handsome dude,
I get it.
rig on him.
I got the photo
Can't
with him.
play golf very well, but it's inconsequential
he
when you
plays a
got
good
that
short ball off the tee.
Irish lilt.
Yeah. I got the photo with him in Dubai.
Did you?
Yeah, he flexed with me. and he
Are
signed
you in
my
his
bicep.
lap? You just in his
Yeah,
little
he
lap,
was
just in the
We
crevice. there?
flexed together. He signed
Oh,
my
really?
bicep. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have cannons like you would.
He doesn't.
and he shouldn't.
Yeah, no one should really. It's illegal. Got these on the black market. Anyway, perfect segue. What's the worst luck you've ever had in a golf course outside of today?
Oi.
We've got about 10 minutes.
Okay, we're at
Pretty
10
mad
minutes.
today.
I don't know. Bad luck. We can edit this dead air out. You guys talk amongst yourself. I'm trying to think.
I know what mine is.
Go.
I was about 170 metres out playing at Joondalup with my mate. 5-iron, hit the flag, hit straight down into the hole, popped out, and then whatever momentum it had or backspin just rolled off the green and into the rough, and I ended up hitting 5.
Ouch.
Hitting another 5 shots out of that rough because I was mad. So I thinned it to the other side of the green, made me even angrier. Duffed it about 2 feet, duffed it again, putted, and then putted it in.
I think mine would have to be, I'm on a par 3. I've told this story
Oh, yeah.
multiple times.
Yep.
I'm on a par 3. I've hit this ball and no one was videoing. So I've hit this ball. It's disappeared over the mound, right? But I heard flag stick. So from that distance, about 170 metres out, I've gone, it's in the hole. So I started videoing, and I was just ripping on him.
He was abusing me.
I was abusing
in this video.
Jase in the video.
I wasn't there.
I'm going, suck this, blah, blah, hole in one, baby. As I'm running up the fairway, I get there, and a chunk has just been taken out of the hole.
Yeah.
So it's hit the flag, hit the hole, and then popped
Ricochet
out.
out.
And I've just got delete that.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it.
Instagram Live.
Yeah.
So angry.
You big dumb idiot.
So angry. Yeah, but just,
I never
heard
liked
the
you
flag,
anyway.
The ball disappeared. I'm like, that is in. This is my first hole in one.
Okay.
Nope.
And the first thing he thinks to do is abuse me. Like,
You piece of shit.
no, dude, this is
You
the
made
coolest
me
thing.
think I can't
Take this.
Yeah, I never liked you in the first place.
The worst luck, it's not luck, it's just spiraled out of control, is I snapped my 58 degree the day before from rage playing on a course.
Damn.
And I was like, I don't have enough time to get it because I'm playing the next day and I don't have enough time to get it reshafted. So I just like, let's just use your pitching wedge for the short game and just see what happens. And this thing is absolutely fucking diabolical. I am chunking it or I'm thinning it. I'm flying this thing past the green. This is in Perth. I'm so sick of this, and I finally just like thin one straight across the green over the back. I was like, fuck this, and I hit my bag. I hit my golf bag on the side, snapped the pitching wedge, and I'm like, oh man, well that thing had it coming. Get to the 2 holes later, I pull out my 8-iron.
I already know this is
8-iron shaft is snapped
she
in the
snapped
bag
them in
From the
bag.
pitching
from the
wedge.
pitching wedge
Damn,
hit.
man.
The
Which
rage
then just doubles down on the
doubles
angle
down,
you'd
and I'm
feel.
like 3 shafts I need to get. But honestly, I can't. If I could just capture the power I had in the pitching wedge hit in the bag,
Yeah.
I'd be striping them.
Yeah.
You know why though? Because the impact, the heaviest point of impact was when you wanted to strike the club. Mm-hmm. You're not casting it out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I'm
know
in
where
here.
your
I really
impact
pulled
point
the
is.
chain. I really pulled the chain on that.
Sergio Garcia pulled the chain. So look, we've got about 5 minutes to go, and this is a question I wanted for both of you.
Are you going to stick to the last one?
Yeah.
Skip
So
forward.
because this is something that I really want to be able to discuss. Look, what makes comedians? We live in a very PC world right now. Mm-hmm. What makes comedians so exempt from that PC culture? In terms of, I don't feel like they cop as much as, let's say, like a movie star.
Not at all.
Right? And why do comedians, for me, seem to be the only ones that are making any bloody sense anymore in this world? When I listen to comedians talk and they talk about the world, I sit there and go, hell yeah. Freaking someone saying it the way it is, right? However, you listen to other people, they're just giving you what they want to hear, like what they think you want to hear.
They're giving
Like
you sound bites.
Disney is fully just motivated into the whole specific community.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to name it. Okay? But you guys actually just talk from your hearts and you get away with it. So what is it?
Well, it's not. I think it's not the last bastion of free speech, but it's the place people turn to for relief from what they consider to be overzealous, over PC, woke culture, a society we live in. It's just people who weren't used to being made accountable for what they could say for decades and decades. Finally, are getting clamped down on. HR, Karen from HR's on it. Everyone's getting busted for being a little bit loose, and it was a wake-up call for a lot of people. Unfortunately, I don't think all the people who needed the wake-up call are hearing it, but the people who are sensitive to it are hearing it really loudly, and it's scaring them into their own shell. And if people are scared to say what they feel and think because you cannot say something, because it's recorded. Everything's recorded on your phone. Everything goes online, and as soon as it's out there, it can spiral, and people are so afraid of saying the wrong thing in any context, and that being shared across the internet.
Yep.
And then but for us, we are like, if something goes wild across the internet, good or
it
bad, dude, let me at it.
Yeah.
And we can get cancelled, per se. We can get called, made accountable for what we say.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
because the society is such a pressure cooker of can and can't say, they come to comedy as a relief of like, yes, there is still hope. There is still a place where people can say what could be wrong. You know, it could be incorrect, or it could be naughty or morally kind of, murky. But it's the fact that you're saying it and making a mistake.
Yeah.
And not really getting fired or, you know,
Getting raked over the coals for anything. you're saying.
exactly. It's this weird kind of, and with that becomes us being more, because you can say what you want. You eventually, over time, the laughter indicates that you're getting closer to the truth.
Yeah.
Not just funny, but the truth.
Yes.
So the more people are laughing, the more you're hitting a nerve. You're hitting a core element that is resonating with people. And as comedians, any good comedian is going to do more and more material that makes people laugh. It's like trial and error. The audience helps you write your material. And then over time, it ends up being the fact that the audiences have shaped your material to sound essentially like it's being honest, like it's actually true for. I think you know what I'm trying to say. It's kind of quite articulated well.
I feel like there's also a matter of, I guess, from my side, coming from the ethnic side, I'm able to say things that people of any skin color, leans more towards white people, will only ever say behind closed doors, and they will never let that be public. So, you know, like when I do shows like the Best of Africa, I'll drop the N-bomb. I don't say it in normal day life.
No, I don't think.
I don't say it in normal everyday
Nincompoop,
life.
everyone.
But it's something that you can exaggerate on, and people will laugh at it. But if you were to jump on stage and say the same thing, you'll get killed for it, right? So coming from an ethnic background, I think the making fun of all different cultures allows me to say things that a lot of people sometimes think as that. I call it loose racism. It's not derogatory, but people think it.
Yeah.
So I'm allowed to make fun of that because it's a thing. But you just, like you said, in this day and age, people can't say it out loud because otherwise they get cancelled.
My only thought on all of that is like I always think of that one kid. Did you? He's on YouTube, and he went into, I think it was like Chinatown, and he dressed up like a Chinaman, right?
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, he did it
White
in
dude.
Mexico as well.
In Mexico.
Yep.
None of them were offended.
No. Yeah.
They were all like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And he actually got to go on Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And they asked him, like, why did you do that? And he was like, because I want people to see that it's these professors and these white Karens are the ones that are bringing this issue to the forefront when it's not even an issue.
Yeah, they're getting offended on
behalf of someone else.
I understand the need for like white people to keep fellow whiteys in check and to keep an eye on our team. Say, hey, that's a bit out of line. I understand that, but they're addicted to it.
Paulie, I don't think there's anyone coming in after us. Yeah, someone. No, that's just him. Yeah, check it out. He said there's no one there.
Yeah, and I also think it's a matter of like, have you ever had? I mean,
we started late.
I feel like all three of us have had conversation with somebody, and it's been borderline offensive.
You want to open the door?
Open it.
It's been borderline offensive, or
Yeah, no, there's someone else here. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll wrap it up.
My last comment, like, you know, we've all been in those conversations where we've had a conversation with somebody, and what they've said is borderline offensive or just straight up offensive, and their response is, "It's only a joke." We are allowed to do that as a genuine comment.
yeah.
It's like, don't get offended.
It's only a
just a joke.
Yeah, that's right.
And a good comedian will say something that won't offend people on purpose. We don't try and be derogatory on purpose.
No.
We make fun of it. But there are comedians of a lesser quality who will say something what I call shock humor.
Yeah.
They'll say it because they know it pisses the masses off.
Yeah.
But they can't necessarily make it funny. Like Jimmy Carr can say stuff that'll offend people, but he makes it funny.
Oh, yeah, gosh, yeah.
So I think that's where we have the benefit of saying what other people in society can't, because we can make a joke of it. It's lighthearted.
Yeah.
Rather than it being a serious comment.
Well, look, making a joke out of a bad situation, we got to get out of here.
Yep.
Because we got people coming into the podcast. But JB, Jacques Barrett,
Yeah,
please.
Mr.
He's in
JB.
Perth for Thursday,
2 weeks.
Friday, Saturday for a couple
You
of
know
weeks.
what? I'm everywhere all of the time.
He is everywhere. But
if you
please-
ever have the hankering to go on a cruise ship, I'll be there.
But please check him out, Jacques Barrett,
We'll throw up
comedian
his-
extraordinaire.
throw up his links in the
Also,
descriptions.
JB Championi is
At
your
JB
Instagram.
Championi.
At JB Championi. Please check him out. As per usual, I'm DT.
I'm Jase, aka Tiger.
We are Top Deck Golf, and thank you very much for
And
watching.
don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Any suggestions, we're always welcome to. Love the support. Peace out.